Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for hanging out with us today on this Purpose Pursuer webinar, one of many to come, I hope. The whole goal of this webinar series is to help you identify your purpose. There are an awful lot of opinions out there as to what your purpose is and how to find it. And I hope to dispel some of those myths and actually make it easier for you to think about purpose and to pursue it. I absolutely believe that each of us are here on purpose, and I will go into that today as well as future webinars. But today I actually have two main objectives for you. So I hope you are able to get these takeaways from this time. The first objective is I want you to understand that your purpose is actually identified by God ahead of time. Like, he knows what your purpose is, and he designed you in order to be able to fulfill that purpose. So hopefully that will take a massive load off of your shoulders. You're not responsible to find it and live it and use it. God is actually doing that through you. So I'm hoping to bring you a sense of peace regarding that and help you relax into that. So that's one of my objectives today. The other objective that I have for you today is I would love to encourage each of you to hang out with God a little bit more throughout the day, every day, because if, as the first objective suggests, this purpose was identified for you by God before you were created, then it makes sense that you would want to hang out with him more often so that you could hear his guidance, not only as to what your purpose is, but also as to how to pursue it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm probably only going to talk for maybe 30 minutes. So if there are any questions at the end, then we can open it up for questions at the end. And so you can either put those in the chat boxes or you can just hang on to them. And when I am done talking, I'll let you know and we can open up for conversation. So to my first objective, that to help you understand that your purpose was identified by this all incredible God, and consequently you were created in order to fulfill that purpose. A lot of people feel that it is their responsibility to identify their purpose. And so they're looking out in their lives for what their purpose might be. And that's great. It's better than not looking for your purpose. But it's not something over which we have a choice. We don't get to choose what our purpose is. Fortunately, I have never found somebody's purpose for them only to have them tell me, well, I don't like that purpose. I don't want to do that. I have never had that happen. So this is really encouraging to you. If you are wondering what your purpose is, first of all, please know that it is, as this webinar suggests, a divine event, meaning your purpose is actually based in God. And you can know then too that it is already here within you and you are built in order to do it. So you can relax into that and you can trust that God's got your best intent in mind and he is going to fill you with everything that you need, including the desire to seek it and fulfill it. So if God is the one who designed your purpose, then obviously that causes us to look inward instead of outward. Again, as I said, a lot of people are looking out in their lives. They're looking at what they have experience in or what their circumstances are or what their resume says, their training, etc. In reality, purpose is based within. We find it within. So, for example, in the blueprint process, that we spend the whole first half of the process identifying what is in you that actually enables you to fulfill your purpose. So this is really, really good news. You can relax in knowing that your purpose is a divine event and that you come preloaded with everything you need in order to fulfill it. This is great news. And again, God is actually the one who is moving through you in the doing of that purpose. Let me give you an analogy. And if you watched the video prior to this, you'll know what I'm talking about because I use this analogy in the video as well. Imagine that you pass by this beautiful, clear lake and you happen to see a reflection of a bird on the water. Well, if you're like most people, you won't just stop at the reflection. You'll actually look at the bird. You'll look at the original to see all the specific colors, the shape, etc. of the bird, all the details of the bird. You'll actually look to the original. We use this analogy when we are looking for your purpose too. We are looking to the original. You are not just an isolated event out on your own on an island trying to figure this out on your own, trying to sink or swim on your own. No, you are a reflection of this incredible being that is God. And each one of us are a unique expression of that God. That's what's even better. You're one of a kind. You're not a copy. And you're not some isolated random accident. You are here on purpose, one of a kind, and you are sourced in this original reflection. So again, in the blueprint process, we spend the first half, looking to that original. What are your colors? What is your shape? What is your purpose? And as in the analogy of the bird on the water, the reflection on the water, if the actual bird takes off and flies, the reflection does as well. So once again, you don't have to feel like you're trying to do this on your own. You don't have to feel like it's some daunting endeavor to find and live your purpose. In actuality, it's a partnering. You're doing this as an expression of God, as a unique, one-of-a-kind expression. So consequently, he's more interested in you knowing and fulfilling your purpose than you and I combined. He is way more interested in that, because your purpose here at this time in our world's history is needed for our time in our world's history. You weren't born 20 years ago, 100 years ago. You were born now to use what you have as a reflection of God in this time right now. That's very interesting. And it helps you kind of trust the all intelligence of God, that he knows you so well because he designed you, that he placed you at a particular time in the world's history. So now your purpose is becoming more and more selfless as we think about it. Your purpose is absolutely here, yes, so you feel fulfilled and empowered, absolutely, but it's actually for other people. Now, knowing that, I hope that that makes you feel even more motivated to discover what it is. Every day that goes by that you don't know why you're here is another day that you might experience loss and confusion, lack of self-esteem, you name it. But it's also another day in which people are not receiving you. And it's not just anybody or everybody that we're looking for. You are actually designed for a certain group of people. So every day you're not tapping into your reflection and you're not flying and expressing your colors and your shape and your design. Your people are actually not getting what they need. And all of us are here at this time in the world's history. So all of us are getting what we need. So your people that are out there right now needing you to shine your purpose, they can't do theirs until you shine yours. And in that way, we all come together and we create a better point in history because we're all shining our light. So you can see why this is imperative. It's imperative that you, first of all, understand that you have a purpose and that it is a divine event. You're not on your own. You're not isolated. You are actually an expression of God, a unique one. I'll never forget when I was putting this process together, I ran across a fortune cookie. And it said in the fortune that was in the cookie said, the day you were born, a problem was solved. Whew. I love that. I have loved that for a long, long time. So I probably found that in like 2007. It's actually a Chinese proverb, and I will never, ever forget it. It is such an empowering comment to make on your life. The day you were born, a problem was solved. And that's true for everyone. The day everyone was born, a problem was solved. We need to get about solving that problem again and again and again and again. And over time, we will draw our community to us. All those people who are staring at that reflection of the bird on the water and admiring that reflection of the bird on the water, everyone who is here to admire you and get good from you, they'll grow stronger in their own reflecting too. And then they'll be able to impact their people. And then those people will be able to impact their people. The purpose is an actual ripple event. The ripple effect happens with purpose. So it's imperative that you find and live your purpose. And I promise you, it's not a one and done kind of a thing. Your purpose is not something that ever ends. It's ongoing in your unfolding of what it means and who it's here for. If purpose is a divine event, then you can understand too that it's an infinite one as well. It's an infinite event. You'll never be done. But as I mentioned before, God has filled you chock full of everything you need to fulfill your purpose, including desire, motivation, interest, curiosity, exhilaration, etc. You can probably tell by my demeanor that I absolutely love what I'm doing. Well, I've known my purpose since, as I mentioned, 2006. So I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I can't imagine ever not doing this. And that's not just for me, that's for you too. Because again, you come preloaded with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. Not only all the skills you need, but also the desire, the curiosity, the longing, etc. So hopefully that has helped you with my first objective for this webinar, in that it is freeing you up from a feeling of responsibility to one of empowerment, recognizing that you're not on your own. You don't have to, you're not the originator of your purpose. You are merely the reflection of your purpose, and it's actually God who is doing it. So hopefully my first objective was taken care of in the last 10 minutes or so that I was talking, and that you feel that sense of empowerment, just like the reflection of the bird on the water. The reflection of the bird doesn't worry about what it's supposed to do. It waits and it watches its original source, and it does whatever the original source does naturally. Something else that I forgot to mention as a promise for this webinar is I want to give you 2 action items as well to go along with my 2 objectives. So I mentioned that one of my objectives, the first one, was to relieve you of a sense of responsibility and help you just kind of relax into the arms of your creator who is doing this purpose through you. So something that you could do to help yourself identify what your purpose is look for that which comes naturally to you. If you are like the reflection of the bird on the water, your purpose is going to come naturally to you. It won't hurt to do it. You'll also love the doing of it. So if you're here and you're wondering what your purpose is, that would be something that I would encourage you to do by way of self-study. Ask yourself, make a list of things that are easy to you. They come naturally to you, just like that reflection of the bird on the water. It just comes because you are who you are. So that is an interesting thing to study. You might even ask friends and colleagues what it is that you do that seems to come so effortlessly to you and is such a challenge for them. So that's my first action item to go along with my first objective. Let's move into my second objective. So the second objective that I mentioned at the beginning is that if your purpose truly is a divine event, then you kind of need to hang out with the divine every day. And you need to listen and be prepared to actually hear what he's saying to you by way of what your purpose is and how you can fulfill it. This is pretty empowering also. Interestingly enough, as I've worked with people over the years, I realized that a lot of people don't think that they actually can hear God. They think that that was just during the Bible, that it's just the prophets that could hear God. I disagree. I think you absolutely can hear him. I think all of us can. It says in the Bible that we're like co-inheritors with Christ. And consequently, we receive the same blessings. And he definitely heard God. So that means we can too. So I'm actually going to go ahead and give you my action item now for this objective. My action item for this objective is to take time throughout every day to listen to him. Listen for him. So I'm sure you've probably heard the concept of angel messages. This is what I'm listening for when I do this, because yes, I do this. I find this absolutely necessary for a couple of reasons. Taking time to listen to God as my bird, my source, makes a lot of sense. If for no other reason, then you can acknowledge that he is all intelligent, all intelligence. He knows everything there is to know. And oh, by the way, he's already created your purpose and he's already created your community. He's already created those people to whom you're meant to serve. So you can see why listening to him on a daily basis is super important for one reason, and that is to hear those angel messages by way of guidance. What new projects should I do? What new people should I develop relationships with? What people should I stop relationships with? What projects should I stop? Crossroads, coming to a crossroads happens at so many different points in our lives in big and small ways. Once again, if you feel like you're alone, crossroads can be very, very daunting. What should I do? And you might have a lot of people in your world who have a lot of ideas about what you should or shouldn't do. But what is God saying? He might be the reason, he might be the source to actually check in with. I think he is. Because once again, he's all intelligent, yes, but he also knows you better than even you know you. He knows your purpose better than you do. He knows your community better than you do. So I check in with him a lot throughout the day so that when I come to a crossroads, I kind of know what he's been saying and I know where to look for a specific answer regarding that particular crossroad. So that's one reason I recommend listening to God every day. The other reason, not only do crossroads cause you consternation, doubt, fear, insecurity, but a bunch of other stuff in life does too. So I'm listening to God throughout the day to get my headspace into a better place, because neurologists have studied the brain and they've determined that we only have 4 to 7 spaces in our brain at any given moment to think about different things. So that means you can only really think about 4 to 7 different things at any given moment. Well, what we know is that whatever we hold in there is incredibly creative. So if I'm holding yucky stuff in here, I'm absolutely going to find it out there in my life. If I hold good stuff, conversely, I'm going to find good stuff. What we're talking about today is holding purpose in here. So when I'm holding faith, confidence in my maker, my people, whom I'm meant to serve, what my purpose is, what my skills are, if I'm holding that stuff in my brain, then my reticular activating system is going to go find me evidence of those things, opportunities. We were talking just a second ago about crossroads. Well, once again, if I'm holding faith in my head, for example, along with some other good stuff, confidence, purpose, etc., I come to that crossroads, I might not even need a moment to know which way to take if I'm holding the right stuff. If, for example, I'm holding negativity of any kind, doubt, fear, whatever, that crossroads might present itself and I might take the safer road, the road that does not involve my purpose, does not further me along the road of fulfilling my purpose, does not serve my people. Almost every crossroads gives you that exact opportunity. Here's the safe road, and here's the not safe road that is more purpose-based. So you can see why talking to God on a consistent basis throughout the day, all day long, is really, really smart. Just something to think of. Now, this is your action item. Again, I know I've already given it to you, but just a little bit more information about the action item of taking time throughout the day. There's a lot of ideas out there about prayer. Bended knee, supplication. I think another popular one is spending lots of time doing it. I think what really matters most, again, because you are a unique expression of God, is you've got to do you. So that means experimenting, trying different ways to reach out, to listen, to receive those angel messages. Don't feel like you've got to do it exactly as your parents did, or as you were raised to do it, or as your spouse does it. Do it the way you feel right. So, for example, I had a really good conversation with a client recently who was raised with the system of things she was supposed to do every day. And she was religiously trying to do those 7 things and beating herself up because she wasn't doing them exactly right, or she wouldn't remember to do them, or whatever. And we talked about seeking God should be a curious thing. It should be an interesting thing, an invigorating thing. It shouldn't be by rote. It shouldn't even necessarily be by example. Because again, the challenge with going by example is you might just copy someone else. But you have a unique blueprint. You're one of a kind. So what does that mean? That means you get to explore. You get to experiment. What works for you to connect with him? And if you try something on for a while and it just isn't working, don't feel bad. Try again. Try something else. Talk to people, see what they do. That's not a problem. It's not bad to talk to other people and see what they do. Just don't feel like you've got to copy. Just keep exploring. He will be so grateful for that. And he'll reward you with that, with actual interaction with him, actual connection with him. And over time, you will grow in your confidence that, yes, you too can hear God, that you're actually designed to hear God. And then you'll have the awesome bonus of having him right by your side throughout every day, at every crossroads, guiding you towards your people and your purpose. Okay, so I think in less than 30 minutes, I've achieved both of my objectives, and I've given you my 2 action items. So let me just wrap up by saying, first of all, if you have any questions, I'm here. We can do some questions if you want to. We can have some conversation if you want to, or we can just be done for the day. I always love meetings when they end early. But let me wrap up by saying, just don't forget that comment that purpose is a divine event. It's not human. It's divine. So everything, all the characteristics you think of when you think of something that is divine, you get to think of in terms of your purpose. It's infinite, for example. It's intelligent. It's all loving. It's all good. It's powerful. It has everything that the divine has backing it up. So My hope is that you go away from this feeling empowered to not only start to uncover what your purpose might be and use it, but also with a greater degree of faith in your maker and just maybe the possibility that you can hear him. All right, so let me see. Anybody have any questions? Comments? It's so good to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. All right. Well, you guys all know my contact information. So if you need anything, you know where to find me. But thank you so much again. And we will be doing these Purpose Pursuer webinars on the 4th Wednesday of every month at noon Pacific. Thanks, everyone.